All right, this is how to draw your beetle for your guided beetle practice. So the first thing that you need to make sure that you have is your 2H pencil, your eraser, and your little watercolor paper that I will give you. Both sides are the same and they're smooth, but in the lower right hand corner, please write your name, just in case it falls out of your folder, and then go ahead and flip it over, and that's where we're going to do our drawing. So when we're drawing this beetle, because we want it to fill up the paper, we need to make sure that we draw a little guideline to start with so that the beetle is big enough and everything fits. When I take a look at the length of this beetle, if I lay my pencil down on top of it, I can see that about a third of it is horn, and then there's a smaller segment that is its head, and then its body is this giant portion. So if we divide it about in half, half is head and horn, half is body. So I'm going to go ahead and draw just this line, this curved, very, very light pressure line that will represent the entire length of the beetle. And now that I'm looking at this, I know I need to switch to a regular pencil so that you all will be able to see it. So please continue drawing lightly with your 2H pencil, but I'm going to push a little harder and use a 2B so that you can see it on the screen. After you get this line that represents where the beetle's going to go, you can divide it about in half and draw a light oval for its bottom, and then do a little segment for part of its head. And then if you look here, I have this line just to show how long, but the horn comes out the bottom, right? So I'm going to come down here and change this, and then I will actually erase the rest of that line, right? So then this is starting to look more like the beetle. When we're looking closely at our beetle, we have these kind of armor plates, the exoskeleton here, and the limbs are attached underneath. So there's a little part where they're attached. So I've drawn this little guy here, and then now I'm going to draw out just a little line to represent where the leg is going to go. And then I overdrew a little bit there. Oops. I'm going to come underneath here, and I can see that there's some beetle body down here, and I'm going to come in and draw you know what? That isn't right at all. Let's try that one more time. So I was looking at the leg, and it really goes down like this and then over. So I need it to attach right here and go down and over, and that's just not what I have drawn. So that's the information that I have here. There's a third leg that's visible that comes out a little ways down, and it goes out and down like this. Okay, so now we have this kind of basic sketch of our beetle. We can go in and start to adjust a little bit. So I'm going to adjust the shape of its head plate. Maybe that's its head and then that's its thorax. I'm not sure. And draw this around. Okay, so it goes around like that. And then I will come in and do this for the back part, and then it almost gets a little squared off, and then this comes up here, and here. I'm going to do some little touch-up erasing because I have extra lines. Excuse me, Mr. Beetle. Okay. And then now I'm going to go over here and start working on the head and the horn. Let me zoom in so that you can see what I'm doing. You have your own beetle reference, so you don't really need to see that. So I'm going to come over here and draw his little horn. All right, making careful marks. And then his little head, and it comes down from here. And then I realize I've got his leg in the wrong place. I'm going to move that. Look at yours, see where your proportions are, where your beetle body parts are, compare it to your reference picture, and see if you need to move things. You have to decide those things for yourself. Okay. So now I'm going to come in here and draw his little segmented leg. Thorny bit on there. Spiky beetle business. Alright. And then he looks like he's got some little hands that are kind of coming out like this. So I have that. Now hopefully yours is much, much lighter than this. This dark pencil is absolutely going to show up when I start to watercolor it. So I want to, hopefully you will not have this dark business on yours. Make sure that you're pushing lightly. You wouldn't be able to see it if I was doing that. All right, so let's continue with this segment drawing. Okay, and then he's got another little like hooky foot over here. And then I'm going to go ahead and erase some and tidy up. You remember, we're going to be painting them in with watercolor and then going over them with pen. So I will be tidying up some of the details and adding in, like if you look really close, you can see some lumpy parts, and I will be adding in some of the lumpy parts in the segments when I add in the pen, but I don't need to do it right now. Because I can add it in later and it will be fine. So, okay, so I have this little beetle guy drawn. Let me zoom it out. Now I'm going to add in the branch that he's on. When you're doing your actual project, you will decide if you add in the environment that they're on or if you change it for something else. It's okay to change it or to edit it out so that it works with your composition. That's something that you will be choosing as you're doing your drawings. Okay, now we just tidy them up. So when you are done, you should have something that looks similar to this. If it's a little bit fatter, a little bit skinnier, a little bit different, that's fine. If it's tiny, you need to draw it again. It needs to fill up most of the paper. All right, thanks y'all.